An airplane descended from the sky, its massive wings slicing through the street before crashing into an open field in the distance, instantly erupting into a massive explosion. Witnessing the plane crash from afar, Jack knew that the prophesied disaster had come to pass, and he sprinted towards the crash site without hesitation. The scene was a complete mess, with flames shooting into the sky, but miraculously, many passengers had survived the crash. Jack put forth his best effort to rescue the survivors, hoping to break the prophecy of 81 deaths in one fell swoop. However, as another intense explosion rang out, it became clear that this was nothing more than a pipe dream. After the incident, an exhausted Jack returned home, only to see on the television that the death toll was exactly 81 people, perfectly aligning with the number foretold on the paper, which left Jack utterly terrified. Later that night, the boy suddenly sensed someone's presence in his room, and as he sat up, he saw a mysterious figure enter. The enigmatic individual slowly extended their right hand, pointing towards the window. As the boy approached the window, he was greeted by the sight of flames engulfing the sky outside, a horrifying scene of apocalyptic destruction that caused the boy to scream out in terror. Jack rushed into the room and embraced the frightened boy, and in that moment, he caught a glimpse of the mysterious figure outside the window. He quickly gave chase, only to discover that the mysterious individual had vanished without a trace. The following day, Jack tracked down Kelly, the daughter who had written the prophecy, but upon hearing Jack inquire about her mother, Kelly turned and left without a word, leaving Jack feeling utterly helpless. After returning home, Jack found the boy playing ball outside, when suddenly, a car pulled up with two men inside whose faces were obscured. Catching the boy's attention, the boy approached the car, and after the man inside spoke to him for a moment, they handed the boy a black stone. At this point, Jack, who was inside the house, noticed that something was amiss and rushed outside to investigate, but the car had already driven off. When Jack asked the boy who those men were, the boy claimed not to know, stating that they had only left behind a black stone. Jack took the stone and examined it carefully, but found nothing particularly special about it, and after warning the boy not to talk to strangers in the future, he sent the boy back inside. Next, Jack looked at the second-to-last prophecy, which foretold that 170 people would die at a subway station the following day. He called the police, hoping they would shut down the subway station, but when Jack arrived at the station, there was no sign of any lockdown. Left with no other choice, Jack began investigating on his own, and soon, he identified a man who seemed suspicious. To Jack's surprise, the man took off running and even managed to board an approaching subway train. Jack gave chase, and with the help of a detective, they finally apprehended the man, only to discover that he was merely a seller of pirated DVDs. Just as Jack began to think that the prophecy would not come to pass, the true disaster emerged. In the distance, a subway train came hurtling towards the station at high speed, seemingly out of control. Seeing this, Jack hurriedly tried to evacuate the crowd, but there were simply too many people in the subway station. The train plowed directly into the platform, claiming the lives of 170 people, precisely matching the number foretold in the prophecy. Although Jack ultimately escaped, he was far from happy, because he knew that there was still one final disaster left in the prophecy, and while the time was known, the location and death toll were not.